Do you guys remember that film studio that I half completed last month and actually released a video showing you an incomplete project? Well, we're back and we're here to actually complete it. And you know what that means? Well, it means that I was able to successfully export my SimCity world that I was creating in the Sims 3 Creator World. And I gotta tell you, that was a nightmare. I'm sure you guys have already seen it on the community post that I posted a little while back, but I was running into some technical difficulties. It was kind of demoralizing at the time and all of that. Now, for those of you that are just joining me or just discovering the channel, my name is Michael and I want to welcome you to Sovereign Gaming and Life Sims, the YouTube channel where I play games, create worlds, and build lots in life simulation games that I enjoy. And I am so thankful that I am able to actually release this episode and finally complete the film lot that has been haunting my dreams, essentially. So we are back. We're back in the film lot that I was just creating. And before I even get started, I need to give an honest and earnest shout out to BoringBones, who was certainly instrumental and a super big help for assisting me behind the scenes with working on some of the issues within my Create a World save files. So I do appreciate you so much, and I've got his information on the screen right now. If you want to check out his work, you're more than welcome to. I've put his channel link in the description box as well. He does a lot of his Sims content in Portuguese, so just flick on those subtitles and just make it happen. BoringBones, if you are watching this video, I just have to say thank you. You really saved my skin in this, and I really do appreciate that you were super instrumental in helping me find a resolution to the problems that I was facing within my Create a World game. And I really appreciate it because it was getting to a point where it was just demoralizing me at that point. So thank you. I can't express my gratitude enough for you, so I really do appreciate it. Just to share with you guys the story behind my Create a World issues and to shed some light on some of the problems that I was facing. I was facing some export issues in terms of the Create a World that I was creating for the SimCity world that I've been working on so far. The big issue that I really faced, and I've been very lucky up until this point because Create a World is honestly, it's like a 15-year-old tool. There can be really big issues when actually using it, and so I've just been very patient with it, and I've been very lucky up until the point where I had decided to go on that store spending spree and getting that business as usual bistro. But that is a whole other I'm not going to lament in the past there. But yeah, my issue is that when I went to export it, the world loaded up fine in my game and everything. However, when I would go to save the game, it would disable the save, and it would say that it was missing expansion packs that I had before and all that, which was completely not true. I have barely, and I mean barely, changed my games, added in mods. I don't even have the NROS mods in at the time of recording this. So that just goes to show you like how much I have not touched my game except for that one store item or that one store set that I went to purchase. So yeah, that was really the issue there. And I spent, in retrospect, this really wasn't a lot of time because I know that people have spent like weeks and weeks trying to find a solution. I'm just very thankful that I was able to find the solution I was able to need quickly. And yeah, so it was just preventing me from saving the game, and I really didn't want that because when it comes to SimCity, I didn't want to export the world or to share it with anybody if it's just not going to work for you guys in your game. And if it's not going to work in my game, then I can't say that it'll work in anyone else's. So it was very important for me to do that. Plus, I didn't want to have to export my my lots all the time, and then to like re-add them in for city tours and all that. I just really didn't want to deal with that, although that was going to be my last resort. Anyways, I was working tirelessly for about 2 days just trying to find a solution on it. I even took like 2 days total. Like I took a day of a break in between just because I was seeing pinwheels at that point. And yeah, so I tried about like 23 different solutions, and those are just the solutions that I recorded in my journal. Speaking of which, like for those of you that are planning on using Create a World and all that, make sure you have a journal or a notepad somewhere so that you can write something down. You never know when you'll need it. In this case, I really needed it to track all the different things that I tried before, because if you're just repeating different ideas and all that to try and get your game to work, then you're just wasting time at that point. But that was a whole side note. So yeah, I tried 23 different methods. So now I have 23 different solutions to try, as BoringBones has told me, which I think is both funny and also a great repertoire of knowledge to build. And yeah, so BoringBones was helping me just behind the scenes kind of work through these technical issues. I give myself a solid, if I'm going to tier myself here, I would give myself a good solid 7 out of 10 when it comes to understanding like the technical know-hows on everything when it comes to The Sims 3. It is the program that I am most familiar with, and I have a lot to learn when it comes to that. So it was really great to collaborate with BoringBones just behind the scenes there, because I was really running out of ideas, and the ideas that BoringBones gave me was just great. And even though what ended up happening, and this was the dumbest thing ever, and I can't even guarantee if this was the real solution to it, because I had to uninstall my EA. I went and uninstalled the EA app. I installed an old version of Origin, and I uninstalled that. It was a whole circus, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. But what ended up being the solution, and I swear I tried this multiple times, is that I had to change the name of the world, and the description, and I had to change that data. Like when you go to edit your world data in Create a World, you name your world and stuff. So I not only had to change the save file name, I also had to change that kind of data as well. And that for some reason seemed to work for me. Really simple solution. I really don't think that there was any way I didn't try that first. So, you know, I might, if I ever do like some sort of a troubleshoot video, I might just like reincorporate doing that regularly as you're troubleshooting, just to see if it's like the one thing that makes things click. Yeah, so very thankful I didn't have to uninstall any of my games. Like again, I didn't have any important save files or any important downloads or anything of the sort, because I literally installed The Sims 3 to do this SimCity Create a World series just because it was on my mind and it needed to come out and be made. So yeah, that was really the issue there, and you know, it's resolved. I can reload a save anytime I want. I'm about to, like, after I finish recording and editing some videos today, I'm going to put in some NROS mods just to make sure it's very clean, because, you know, when you play with Sims that have memories and then you have these all these wild horses and animals running around, it's just chaos. And I don't need that in my game, and I definitely don't want to deal with that, even though I am running this world on a real gaming computer. I just want to keep it as clean as possible, because I've ran worlds of similar size, and it can get pretty chaotic when it comes to having all of the animals and all the spawners running around. And if you don't have the NROS mods to help control your population, it can get out of control pretty quickly. So yeah, that's next on my to-do list, just to make sure that it runs smoothly for myself as I continue to create the world. And that would be something that I would recommend for people to use anyways. I feel like NROS is pretty standard for Simmers to use in their mods, but I would highly suggest, you know, using the NROS mods in terms of like helping to control your world's population, which was an issue I was mentioning for Life by You, but that's a whole other video. I've created videos on that before, so you can check those out if you want. But yeah, this world is pretty huge, and I want to try and keep it as clean as possible when it comes to any of the background functions going on. So yeah, that's part of the plan for me later today, the time that I'm recording and editing this. Just to share a little bit with you guys, my original vision with the SimCity Create a World series that I have been doing, and I feel like I've been spamming everybody since September, so I'm kind of glad that I cut back on the video schedule there. Anyways, the original vision was to actually balance both create a world and also in-game editing with the lots, and in a way, I kind of feel like this was a huge blessing in disguise that I had blocked myself from the editing game mode. And the reason why I say that is because lots, like when you build on lots, they actually take quite a bit of, I don't want to say space, but they take quite a bit of horsepower, I guess. Yeah, space. They take quite a bit of space to load up. And the editing, or sorry, not the editing game tool, the Create a World tool, I find is just, it's just quite frankly unstable, and it's less stable than The Sims 3, and The Sims 3 wasn't the most stable game in the world here. More stable than The Sims 4 in my opinion, but but yeah, it's still kind of unstable, and the Create a World was even more unstable. So I'm really glad that I actually ended up just kind of going through what I needed to do in Create a World, and now uploading the lots after the fact, after everything has been done, because you know, I have the world looking the way that I want it to look, which I'm really thankful for. But yeah, like I was planning on originally building lots as I was doing it, and I think that if I did that, I wouldn't have been able to guarantee that the world would have even been loadable, because I remember, I guess, you know, in retrospect, I'm really remembering things properly now. And I remember back when I did a lot of world building, what ended up happening is I ended up having to export a lot of my lots and, you know, build it in the editing game. And then when I actually loaded up the game, I would just add in those lots. So if you have a larger world, I definitely don't recommend using the editing game mode. And I guess this is the wrong video to do this, because this should really be saved for a Create a World tutorial or something, but I don't recommend using the editing game mode to build lots if you have a lot of lots that you need to build. In this case, I really do. I have over 180 lots at the end of this series, at the end of the Create a World series, and I do plan on building on pretty much all of them. Some will have like higher creative lifts than others, but that's not a problem. I plan to that's not a problem I anticipate of having, just because I've got a proper gaming computer, and if this computer can't run the world, then it's a flaw within the game. I guarantee you that. And I'm not trying to brag or anything. This computer is at least like 2 years old, so it's not like I'm trying to do a flex on here, but gaming computers are just the bee's knees, to say the very least. But yeah, original vision was to do both, but I think that now in retrospect, it was really good to actually finish the Create a World stuff and then move into the lot building. What this unfortunately means for the Create a World series going forward is that the narrative will kind of be fractured. Like, I'll be talking about things that I'm going to do, that I've already done, and things that you'll see are kind of done in these lot builds here. So yeah, there's a fracture in the narrative there, just a little bit. Like, I'll still run some polls and whatnot from the Create a World series. I have no problem doing that. And the other thing that I will mention is that I will never again publish a video that doesn't have a completed lot on that. And I will try my best never to give you like a part 1 or a part 2 of something that I was doing there, because it just fractures the whole experience, and I just didn't like that I had to do that for the film lot. So yeah, this video is kind of an exception, or the 2 film building videos are kind of an exception here. So yeah, let's focus now on what I'm actually doing in the game. So firstly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I totally lost steam. I lost any kind of momentum that I had with the film lot that I was building here. And you know what? a big part of the reason is because my head was really into Old Town this whole time. Like, I've just been dying to get my world exported and created and all that in order for me to start building Old Town, because I think Old Town is just going to be magical. And by the time we're done Old Town, trust me, we'll be ready to move on and explore some more different city architectural styles. And you'll just have to stay tuned for the next episode to see exactly what I mean by that. But yeah, I lost steam during the studio build here, and you know what, in all honesty, I'm probably gonna have to go back and like redo it or something. So as you can see on screen here, I'm building some live audience sets. Like if you're hosting a TV show, this is kind of where you would actually host it and have a live audience and whatnot. I use a lot of green screens and all that, and like quite honestly, I've been using these green screens probably a little unrealistically, if I'm going to be honest here. You know, now that I'm kind of saying it out loud in these additional warehouses, I should have probably painted the walls, like just put the green screen behind the windows and then put in some boxes. So you see what I mean? I'm probably gonna have to go back and redo this, because in this case, I just didn't bother at all. I was just out of steam, out of creativity. This project has been haunting me for a month and I just wanted it done and out. So, so I do apologize actually, but you know, if I go back to redo it, I'll probably put it in some sort of a compilation episode. I'm not gonna dedicate a full episode to just editing it, or you know, maybe I'll update you guys in a future episode. Who knows? But yeah, for now, I just wanted to be done with it, and I'm not planning on going back to the studio lot anytime soon. Speaking of which, I am calling this studio lot Studio Town after the Sims 1 Superstar Studio Town. And I know what you're thinking. Studio Town was a conglomeration of different lots in The Sims 1, and you are absolutely right. When I was doing the tier reviews for The Sims 1 Superstar, which has yet to be released at this point, I don't think it'll release the week that this comes out, so I do apologize if it isn't. But as I was working on that episode, I came to a realization that Studio Town is actually super magical in terms of like the different kinds of lots that they put in there and the background of the stories and all that. And I really wanted to pay a proper homage to it in certain areas within my SimCity world here. And I figured that this film lot, I think it's originally called like the Plum Blob Backlots, which is a mouthful to say, a tongue twister in of itself, but I wanted to actually pay proper homage to it instead of calling it the Plum Bob Pictures Backlot or whatever it's called. So I named it Studio Town. And the story here is really just that, you know, as special effects and technology started to evolve, Studio Town really didn't need the extra warehouse slots and all that. So it could just kind of downsize in a way that makes it a lot more efficient. And so this is really a reflection of that. And I'm sure that you guys noticed that in the first episode, I had a whole Western theme out in the outside. Well, okay, the game kind of does some funny things with some of the buildings. Like when you load up a game, it'll like save a certain version of a building, and the Plum Bob Pictures Backlot, I still can barely say it, is one of those. And sometimes it'll have that alien science fiction set just outside of it. Other times it'll have like the Western set outside of it. So in this case, it loaded up with the science fiction set, and it didn't make any sense at all to have it, you know, expose the outside elements. So that's why I added in the warehouse there. The second floor of that main warehouse, by the way, I just put it in as storage for a bunch of boxes and stuff. I figure that because film studios are a lot more industrious, I would say. I think that they are actually classified in certain cities as being industrial uses. There needs to be some form of storage and ways to like move larger set pieces here and there. There's a lot of like moving large set pieces, and I'm sure that like if there are any personal assistants or anybody that works in set design and all that, they can certainly attest to that. There's also like a little mini area upstairs for like hair and makeup, but wasn't a huge focus here. The starlets barely get anything from this slot outside of the trailers. Essentially everything else here is just like you get your talent on screen, or sorry, on camera, and then the rest is just like all that movie magic. So it's a lot of just building sets, and that's really the idea that I had going forward, is that I wanted another warehouse dedicated to those live action audiences, I think they're called, live action audience studios or sets. And then the other the other warehouse that I just wanted it to have those different themed sets for fictional film and television and such. As you can see, like, my momentum for this project has honestly just like been depleted, which is why there's a green screen floor. I don't even know if that's realistic. Somebody can comment below and let me know if a green screen floor is even something that would be viable here. But but yeah, you can see the different kind of sets that I use here. And you know what, honestly, like, the Sims 3 movie stuff is where the stuff pack items can actually be used in my games. So that's kind of where they're coming in handy here. And it's sort of, I say that laughingly because I may or may not have purchased it like last year for just like this kind of a lot build, or, you know, years ago when I was last playing The Sims 3 and all that. So it might have been an impulse buy, and so now I need to use my money's worth. So here it is, being used. I mean, the Western stuff can certainly be used in other places, but the superhero and supervillain stuff, not so much. I also really like the backdrops, and I eventually even create a little storage area for the backdrops there, which is really nice. Or, well, not really nice, but it's something I really enjoyed. Yeah, the superhero stuff I really couldn't get into the swing of using, and a big reason for that is that I wanted to use the car badly, but you can't actually get the cars in here, and I wasn't about to. Again, I lost complete momentum here. I just wanted this lock done, and I wasn't about to go through the debug mode just to try and find one of the cars there. So I just threw in the wardrobe, threw in a couple of objects, put in the backdrop, called it a day with the superhero stuff. But the Western themed sets here is actually where like more effort has certainly been placed. And I also had it face the horror themed set as well that came with the Sims 3 movie stuff pack. So yeah, all in all, like, when it comes to the studio town build here, I do like how it's come out. I'm not gonna lie. Do I think it's great? Not really. I think it's good. I think it gets the job done, and if I ever wanted to go back and re-edit it, then I certainly will. Now the thing is that, like, when it comes to these kind of builds, I'm not a huge fan of building dummy rooms, if you know what I mean, because all of the extra stuff that I'm building here on the lot is really just like it's kind of like dummy rooms, and I guess okay, let me put it this way. I'm learning to like it more and more. It doesn't actually serve as a real function, is really what I'm trying to say here. Like, you got a couple of director chairs, you can't see your Sims do your things. It's just clutter stuff. If I'm going to be completely honest, and sure, maybe you could send your starlet to the bathroom in her or their trailer that I built, but that's really kind of it. The rest of this is just decoration pieces, and even though it doesn't have like a real fundamental function to it, it's something that I think turned out okay. So I'm not mad at it. I think that it could use quite a bit of editing. I even mentioned like a point of editing that I wanted to maybe even address, but I'm not worried about it right now. And if I ever do get around to editing it, I'll probably just update you guys in an episode, or do a whole episode where I edit some lots and all that. I'm sure that there will be more opportunities on the horizon there. But yeah, that's really gonna about do it for this episode. So yeah, I just wanted to like say thank you guys again for sticking with me throughout this journey. I really do appreciate it. It's had its ups and downs. This is definitely one of the ups, is just like getting the slot finished is definitely one of the more positive things happening right now in my life. So I'm very happy with it. And I'm happy for the creative outlet as well. I'm very thankful for it. And I'm very thankful for you guys for watching and sticking around and enjoying the journey with me. Going forward, more lot builds are certainly on the horizon. I want to balance out my channel more with those Sims 3 speed builds as opposed to just like the creative world stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited and relieved that I'm actually able to balance the channel even more, because up until this point it was a lot of creative world and even I was getting sick of it too. So yeah, I'm very happy for that. Up next, we will be finally heading into Old Town, where I have just been dying to create something, and we are going to start off with some artist studio apartments. And I think that you guys are going to really enjoy the vision there, because it'll help the architectural style of Old Town come to life, and finally I'll be able to deliver on the vision. And I'm telling you guys right now, I do not lose momentum during that build. In fact, I've probably gained a whole lot of it back. It's just that this project has just been blooming, and I've been looking forward to getting it done. To get it done. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed this channel and this content, then feel free to like and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. I want to thank you for watching again, and please have yourselves a wonderful day.